Welcome back, history heroes. In this video, we'll cover the important events from 1920 to 1945, a time of huge changes in American life. We'll explore the Roaring Twenties, the struggles of the Great Depression, and how the United States helped win World War II. These moments weren't just exciting or tragic, they were turning points that changed our nation's direction. The 1920s were roaring with jazz, flappers, and fast cars, but underneath the fun was a serious cultural conflict. The Scopes trial in Tennessee showed the fight between traditional religious values and modern science. A teacher was put on trial for teaching evolution, and the whole country watched. At the same time, the Ku Klux Klan came back stronger, pushing nativism and targeting immigrants, Catholics, Jews, and African Americans. Congress passed quota acts that limited immigration from certain countries, especially in Eastern and Southern Europe. The 1920s weren't just about fun, they were about choosing what kind of country America was going to be. In 1920, after decades of protest and fighting, women won the right to vote with the 19th Amendment. This was a big win for democracy, expanding voting rights to half the population. In cities, many women embraced a new identity as the new woman, more independent, with shorter hair and more freedom in jobs and fashion. It wasn't full equality yet, but it was a big step forward. The U.S. economy boomed in the 1920s. Radios, refrigerators, and cars became common, often bought on credit. But this boom was built on shaky ground. Overproduction, stock speculation, risky bank practices, and very little government oversight. On Black Tuesday, October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed. People lost everything. Businesses closed, unemployment skyrocketed, and banks failed. This crash triggered the Great Depression, the worst economic crisis in U.S. history. When Franklin D. Roosevelt, or FDR, became president in 1933, he launched the New Deal to fight the Depression. It had three main goals: relief for the suffering people, recovery to get the economy going again, and reform to stop a depression from ever happening again. Programs like the CCC, or the Civilian Conservation Corps, gave young men jobs building parks and roads. The SSA gave aid to elderly and unemployed. The FDIC insured bank accounts so people wouldn't lose money in bank failures. Some people thought the New Deal went too far, giving government too much power. Others said it didn't go far enough to help everyone. But no matter what, the New Deal changed how Americans saw the role of government in their lives. But in the 1930s, dictators like Hitler in Germany, Mussolini in Italy, and Tojo in Japan were taking over land. The U.S. stayed out of the conflict at first. But on December 7, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and the U.S. entered World War II. The war was fought on two fronts, Europe and the Pacific. Two key battles were D-Day in 1944, or the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France. It helped push Germany back. And in the Pacific, the Battle of Midway in 1942. This was a turning point in the Pacific where U.S. forces stopped Japanese expansion by beating them at Midway shortly after Pearl Harbor. These battles helped the Allies defeat the Axis powers. During the war, as the Allies were able to recover and recapture German-occupied territory, the world learned of the Holocaust, a genocide where over 6 million Jewish people were murdered by the Nazis. Back in the US, Americans supported the war effort. People planted victory gardens, bought war bonds, and rationed food and gas. Women took over factory jobs, and many African Americans served in the military and worked in factories. But not all wartime actions were fair. Japanese Americans were forced into internment camps, even though many were US citizens. The government later apologized for this injustice. All right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Two major turning points happened in this time period. In 1929, the stock market crash triggered the Great Depression and led to new government roles. Okay? From 1939 to 1945, World War II reshaped the world. The US emerged as a global superpower and ended the Depression through war production. This era transformed American society, expanded democracy, tested our values, and changed our role in the world. And that's why it's tested on your STAAR exam. Stay sharp, study smart, and keep making history.